So, slight change of plans. I'm doing a test panel hood over there for a separate how to spray spherical. And I had some spherical clear base coat in the hopper. So I went ahead and I sprayed 2 coats. It took about 15 minutes to apply 1 coat. I waited 5 minutes. I applied a 2nd coat of just the clear base coat. That's all what's on here. It's super matte, super flat, 2 light coats. So next up is I have the black. I'm gonna spray that next. Should have pretty good color coverage. I need to make sure though, when I'm spraying, I need to make sure I really get these areas of these trim pieces really well. Only because I have to let it sit overnight and then mask them, spray over them, and then take it off so that it's black. I know, I feel like a broken record, but you get it. Okay, so let's spray the black. Let's go. And it's the next day. Cool. So I'm happy with this. This looks good. This looks smooth. Look at that. There's a few areas that could get some touch up, and I'll explain those in a second. But my next step is to use delicate surface, low adhesive tape on all the chrome, which is now black, trim pieces that I want to cover, because I'm going to spray the Heisenburg Blue next, and I don't want those getting sprayed. So trim, door handles, bottom part, the back area, the top, stuff like that. Oh, this, I need to scuff more. Something spat out on my sprayer, so I need to sand that down some and denib, is what we call. Worth mentioning though, check out this hood. So this is what we call, you can kind of see it right here, focus right here. What we call islands, or yeah, islands. I'd call it an island. You can kind of see a little bit here, a little bit here. This is caused by a few different things. Either your previous coat was not fully dry and you applied your next one too fast, too wet, or it's too late into the day and there's just too much moisture into the air. You know, when the sun sets, and that's right whenever I started to spray near the end of the day, the last coat of black, the sun was setting, so I can tell the temperature was dropping, more moisture, more humidity, stuff like that. That will cause it. So the fact that this is just the base, it's okay to have the islands that are there. Obviously, I wouldn't want that if it were my final color. Couple different ways to correct it. I can just spray over it in the middle of the project. Don't go so heavy when spraying, or don't spray so late into the day. So definitely 2 things worth mentioning for that. It's an easy fix. It won't show whenever I spray the Heisenburg Blue over it. I like this. It looks good. I like it a lot. All right, let's get to work. Six hours later. That was my SpongeBob impression. But yeah, realistically, it has been about 6 hours. So much tape and masking, and I'm iffy on this purple low adhesive delicate surface tape. Posted in our Facebook group asking if other installers have used it. They said, some said yes, success, but most said no. Yes, they used it, but no success. It got sticky after it got hot. So, as a safety precaution, I put even more tape over that. This is a little bit more tacky, so I didn't want to chance it and put it directly on the spherical black. So, I felt like this was a little bit more of a safer bet for sure. Okay, so next up is I'm going to scuff the entire thing, just kind of clean it up, denib it, see if there's anything that can be, you know, smoothed out. It's just an extra step. It's not one that's needed, but I've gone this far, right? I've gone this far, so just an extra step just to clean it off and scuff it some. And then I'll mix up the blue, Heisenburg Blue, and we'll spray that over it. Oh, I'm not going to use the AHS sprayer. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the compressor only because this spray, the AHS unit sprays out so much product where I don't want it going on here too wet. So back to the compressor. I know, flippy flop. So yeah, let's get to work. All right, so don't judge it right now. It looks blotchy because there's only like 2 coats down. But I dig the matte look. Like again, it's blotchy because I got a couple coats on. So ignore that part. I guess I should do this later, but I don't know. I like it. I like the matteness. Like I really do. It's funky looking. I mean, it is flat. It could be a shade down on the flat side if I had it my way. Only because it looks a little too frosted here. But it's cool looking. Probably used about half a gallon. I'm sticking with the compressor. I really want to use that. I've been eyeballing that, but I'm afraid if I spray too wet on the tape, it's just gonna bleed through, and then the black that I have underneath all goes to waste. So let's get this thing done. Okay. I'm done for the night. Let's clear this puppy tomorrow. This looks okay. This looks all right. It's not showroom finish by any means. That's a given. I mean, you guys can see on the hood, there's orange peel, there's trash. Yeah, this car still needs some work, and I've had this for 5 days now. So I don't want to like portray that this is just overnight, you're done, and this is super easy, and you'll be a millionaire because you can knock out cars so fast. That's not the case, especially when it comes to spraying clear coat. Also, I don't have a paint booth, so that's going against me as well. Really, the only time you should be spraying spherical clear coat, or any gloss at that, is to have a paint booth. You're able to control your environment, temp controlled at that, downflow, air draft, good lighting. I mean, that's perfect, but it's $10,000. I mean, it's kind of out of my budget right now. Right now, it needs some work. Like that's a given. It needs some work. So the other option is to what we call flow coating, where you sand with 1500 grit, maybe 1200 or 2000, depending on how aggressive it is and stuff like that. But where you sand the entire car, where it's completely hazy, you clean it off, and then you reapply another coat of clear. That's the option that we're going to go with on this one. Hopefully it's hardened enough where I'm able to sand correctly and move on to that next step. That's going to get rid of any nibs. That's going to smooth this all out. That's going to bring you a step closer to showroom finish. So of course, plan A is to spray your 2 coats of gloss on day 1 and let it dry overnight and unmask and deliver. Very tough, doable. There's people that are out there that do it, but like I mentioned, they have the paint booth, they have the experience, they have the proper equipment, so on and so forth. Perfect storm, right? I don't have that. I don't have that option. So flow coating it is. Okay, so I am probably 80% done with the sanding. I'm gonna do a little bit more, just kind of get rid of some of these and make it a little bit smoother. My goal is to have it smooth like this everywhere. So you'll notice like here, it's still pretty shiny, still pretty glossy. I'm trying to create the haze and get rid of the blue that's in here. So that way it's all smooth. I gotta clean that up. Denib some of these some more, a little bit of more sanding. I used 1500 grit sandpaper, ordered some off of Amazon and then ran out. So I went to Harbor Freight and picked up Hercules 6-inch sanding disc, 1200 grit. I did it dry. I like sanding dry, helps me see what I'm working with. This came out good too, not too bad. I need to work on it just a little bit more. It's tough to get the sandpaper in there. I may just have to like use my hand. After that, I'll clean it up, wipe it down again, take the air hose, make sure everything's all super clean, and then spray a coat of clear coat over it, spherical clear coat. So one nice, even, wet coat, panel by panel, nice and okay, all done. Not bad, not bad. If I plan on doing more gloss cars, more spherical jobs, I definitely need to invest in a paint booth. Like that's the ideal situation. I mean, you can see a little bit on the hood here. Let's see if I can get it. There's some trash. I mean, it doesn't help that the fan's right there. I wasn't blowing the fan this way, the fan was going that way when I was spraying the gloss, but looks good. I like it. Oh, This was a saving grace. My gun light, this, I would be screwed without it. So worth it, worth it, worth it. Check it out. It's on the Dr. Pigment site. Yeah, but I'm gonna let this dry overnight. I'll come back, see how it looks, and go from there. Hopefully I'm ready to unmask and let it sit for a bit, maybe a day, and deliver. So that's it. Okay, so I still got to clean up the windows. I got to do some more stuff before the customer gets here. They're on their way. It could be better. This could be better for sure. I think the next step is to wet sand and buff, or dry sand and buff, whichever the case is. Probably best to wait a couple days before doing that. I did this morning on the hood a little bit and a couple other areas that just needed some touch up. And I noticed I'd get maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 passes with my DA sander and my sandpaper was filled. I had to wipe it off and then resand. So waiting just a little bit, maybe ideally 30 days. I mean, it's extreme, you know, wait 30 days to have the customer come back and wet sand and buff. I did it in 12 hours, but I went through sandpaper like crazy. I only did the hood, and then I did a couple other side areas that just needed some touch up and stuff like that. A couple things that I learned. I want to touch base a little bit on those, or at least things that are super important. I'm no professional painter. I feel like I've said that like 100 times. I just want to reiterate that. I am no professional painter. I don't have a paint booth. I don't have 10 years of painting experience. I haven't sprayed 100 cars. I haven't sprayed a ton of clear coats. I've sprayed 2. Spherical and another random brand, just to, I don't know, say that I sprayed 2 clear coats. So I am, yeah, I don't need to repeat it, but I'm no painter. Paint booth, that's important. Having a clean workspace, good airflow. I don't have any of that. I feel like a broken record, but that plays a major role in all of this. I mean, all this wind right now is just going into my shop and just settling. So granted, right now I don't have a car in there. The car's here. However, when spraying clear coat, all that stuff settles. I had to kick my cat out and take her home, and is the customer here? Nope. I had to kick the cat out of the shop and take her home and make sure that she didn't, you know, jump on the car as it was drying and stuff like that. So what else? Oh, yes, when spraying clear coat, wetter is not better. Think of it as a scale, right? Apply the clear coat to dry. You have dry spray. You have texture. It just looks, you can tell you didn't spray it wet enough. Spray too wet and you get like these tiny little pinholes, what you call like solvent pops or pinholes, or dieback. That's another one. It's when you apply the gloss way too wet. It looks good when it's sprayed, but the moment that it dries, it either has those ripples or those pinholes, and it's not so glossy anymore. I ended up buffing with Leveler 56, Osram Leveler 56, and a Harbor Freight, I don't know, Bearer, medium foam polishing pad, and then countered that after with some, what is it, Osram 36 polishing and a polishing pad, foam pad. So that helped. Recap, painting is patience. have a super clean workspace, compressor is needed, good airflow, good lighting. Have patience. It's worth saying twice because it is a process. It is definitely a process. So, but it's worth it. I enjoy it. Let's take a look around actually. All right, so I'll do this freehand. It's not going to be super stable, but let's get in there. Black trim. I like that. That came out good. Black. Ooh, let's look at this. Heisenburg Blue. I love it. It's one of the most popular blues that we have too. I washed it earlier, as you guys saw. I forgot. That's going to be in the video too. I like it. I like it. I hope the customer does. Definitely a lot better than what it was before. Okay, I'm done. Customer's probably gonna be pulling around the corner any minute now. I'm gonna get the car back in the shop, throw some tire shine on it, make it look good, of course, wipe down the windows, clean it up a little bit. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I got some blue right here. Freaking. Okay, it washes off.